do I use to make my travel videos? And so I've got the 3 primary cameras that I use right here. And these cameras, the first one is the FDR AX53. This is a Sony 4K camera. This is the primary camera that I use when we go on travel. Now people say, Chris, why do you use a camcorder? Aren't camcorders lame? Aren't DSLRs, removable lenses, better? I really like this one because it has a stabilized lens inside of it. Basically, it's almost like a gimbal inside of a camera, and so it keeps it really steady. I also really love the wireless mic that comes with this. There's a Sony Bluetooth microphone that comes with this. The camera powers the receiver. This takes a AAA battery. You see that on my shirt, and so that way I never forget to have sound that works quite well. When we do important shoots, we will actually take 2 of these with us just in case something happens to one of them. Recent camera we picked up is the Sony ZV-1. This is a small little camera. I've used this camera to shoot like the Amazon Fresh video. Places where I don't want to hold a big camera, then I take the Sony ZV-1. The microphone on this one is complete garbage, but I can use that same wireless microphone that goes on here on the ZV-1 as well. By the way, if you want that exact model number for the microphones, I have them in like the description of every video because it's a question I get so often. And then the walking tours I've been doing, I've been using my Samsung Galaxy S21 Ultra. I use it on a DJI Osmo 4 gimbal when I'm out and about. If I'm at home and I'm using this to shoot things, like I record my shorts on this, then I record on this Rode Video Mic NTG. It connects into that via USB, makes for some pretty good audio. That's one of the biggest problems with cell phones is the microphones just aren't that good. And when I'm out doing the walking tours, now I've started using the Rode Wireless Go. This is a wireless system that'll connect into an Android or iPhone device via USB. And that works pretty well to pick up audio as well. So those are the primary cameras that I use. And this is supposed to be a fireplace over here. Fireplace, why are you over on that other screen? You should be on that screen. The heat was definitely coming from the wrong place. All right, so now that you know the equipment that I use, now I want to share with you the next step, which is going someplace. What's the idea? And so as someone who makes travel videos, I often go on YouTube to research topics or places that we're going to go. I have some standard types of videos that I do: cheap eats, things to know, things to do, vlog style videos. I kind of look and see what other people have done on that destination, and if there's one of my classic themes that I like to do that nobody else has done, then those are the ones that I'm going to do. My goal is not to repeat things that other people have done, but try to come up with some new innovative content. I outline everything in Google Docs, and now I'm going to show you kind of what this looks like actually looking into my Google account. So this is like the Google Docs outlines that I've done for videos on Hawaii. You can see the dates on the right-hand side. Some of these date back to 2017. I keep every one, but you know, things about Hawaii, things to know, Kauai things to know, Kauai cheap eats, and so I will outline the whole video in Google Docs because I can do it on my computer and then pull it up on my mobile device on location. Now, if we dive into like another one, when I did London, so these are like London cheap eats, London street markets, London things to know. I just keep a Word document for each one of them because planning the videos is really important. If there was a biggest mistake that I made when I first started doing YouTube was not planning things, just going out and shooting and then trying to do something with all the video when I came back. And obviously you can't plan it out right completely because you don't know everything that you're going to see, but if you have a general idea of what you're putting together, what the general flow looks like, what the general story looks like, then that helps a ton to actually put something together that is interesting for people to watch. Now, I want to dive into what I've done for Fukushima, Japan. And This was actually not, we're not quite ready for that yet. This is just to say, I also do this for all the live streams. These are all the notes for all my live streams that I do. And so now into Fukushima. I'm going to use our Fukushima series as a case study for creation and editing. And we're actually going to dive into the video editor around the 6 foods you must try in Fukushima video. But when we went to Fukushima, this was the last big trip that we did. We went there in February of 2019, before the pandemic. These are the videos that we produced on it in the Fukushima playlist. One that was vlog style, that's that exploring Fukushima that took you across the 5 days that we were there. One about the foods you need to eat. One about the things to do, that was the must-visit places. And then this little one about Uichi-juku, that was like this little mountain town. I didn't plan to do a whole video just on that town, but it was so cool. I'm like, that's going to be a whole video. And then the Fukushima travel tips, 11 things to know before you go. And then the last one you see there, we ate at a horse sashimi restaurant that I thought was unique enough just to also make a video in and of itself. There's one more in that playlist if you hadn't seen it. That wasn't one we created, but a Japanese news crew followed us around Fukushima, so that was us on Fukushima TV in that playlist. Okay, so now, a couple months before we started to go, I start doing research on Fukushima, and that's what I'm going to bring up next over here, which is this is the document that I start a couple months before we go, and it has everything about where we want to go, what we want to do, and I start filling this up with things like that Uichi-juku, that mountain town that I talked about, so a little bit of history on it, like how to get there. How to get there actually helps us get there, but then some of the history are things so that when I'm actually on location, I've got some things that sound intelligent to say. And then we put some things in red about this to say like, hey, should we go visit it for the snow festival? Questions for ourselves later. These are other things, castle towns, castles, viewpoints. So we put all that together with just the information, and the research includes the food, because I knew we were going to do a food video. And then this document is about 8 pages long, just to give you an idea of how detailed this gets. And then we kind of dive deeper into like planning our actual trip, how many days we're going to be in what place. Obviously, that's important. And then getting into, okay, we've done all this research, where do we actually want to go? And so then we put down what are our high priority places we want to go, what are our medium priority places we want to go, and what are our low priority places that we want to go. And then we basically say, okay, let's try to go to all the high priority places, next medium priority, low priority, what's around those other things that we've picked in the high priority places. Do the same thing with food, say, we definitely want to get some of these classic things, and then outlining for my things to know video, right? These really aren't filled out, because they were things that I was going to basically figure out on location what to say. But in my things to know video, I've outlined and say, I'm going to shoot a scene on when to go, and I want to shoot it at a nature scene. And I want to shoot getting into Fukushima, and I want to shoot that at a train station, getting around Fukushima, shopping, like at a shopping street, at a hotel. I want to do that at a hotel. So that way we make sure that we get all of the shots that we need to get, because that's the biggest problem with a travel video is if you didn't get the shot while you were there, you're probably not getting it again. So really important, not just to think about all the things you want to say, but to think about all the shots that you want to get to make sure you say all the things and get all the things on camera at that particular location. So that is what the outline looks like for us. So then do the outline, go the place, shoot the video, right? Shoot the video with this. It's typically OC Girl running the camera on these trips. That's my wife for people who are new to this channel. And she's typically hand holding this because it's got a nice little handheld grip right there. If I'm vlog style myself, then I'm using this Joby Gorilla Pod to do it. If I'm doing it myself, to get a little bit more distance between me and the camera. So every day when we're on location, I've really gotten to the habit of copying files every day from the cameras to my computer. That's the lessons learned actually from the Fukushima trip. I went a couple days without copying them. We had some weather issues. It was so cold, we lost some of the files, so now I copy them every day. And then when I get back home, I copy them to the editing computer that you see right here. So I want to take you now into how I organize the files when I get home, but first I want to take some comments from the chat. chat. Scott says, GorillaPods come in handy. I use one all the time when I film. They are super handy. Eric B says, you're incredibly organized. Me, not so much. I have found in order to like shoot all these different videos on one trip, things to know, things to eat, things to do, this and that, I have to be super organized so that when I'm at that one spot, we can roll the camera and be like, okay, we're sitting at the gyoza restaurant. This first clip is for the things to know video. Okay, this second clip is for the things to eat video. This third clip is for our vlog style about this is what we were doing today, so that we get all of them in there at every location. And Kathy says, what if you miss something and you see something not on your list when you get there? Absolutely. So, that was like... I didn't intend to do Uichijuku as its own place video, so we just kind of roll with it and do it. And I don't write out the whole talk track, like it's not a script, it's much more an outline of like these are things that I want to say. And we generally keep our days open enough so that we've got a few extra hours in any given day to like go do other things and go see other things. There are always things that I end up shooting on location that I didn't anticipate or plan to. Meritocratic Mafia says, so you bring 2 cameras, 1 cell phone, a laptop on your trip. Yeah. 2 of these cameras, a MacBook Pro as the laptop, one of these cameras, the Sony ZV-1 or some other like photo camera to take the thumbnails, the cell phone, the wireless microphones, lots of batteries. I bring about 5 batteries for this camera. It's a lot of gear. But it takes good gear to get good videos, to get good audio quality, to get good video quality. So when we're like really doing it for real, that is what we do. Pixix says, I've been using the DJI Pocket 2 a lot, but the quality isn't great. Yeah, I've got one over there, and I agree with you. I don't love the quality on that all that much. Kathy says, you must have a lot of checked luggage. All of the electronics I put in my backpack for carry-on. I don't check any of the actual camera gear. And last question before I dive into the video editing, Cyclona says, how do you deal with people looking at you while you vlog? Has anyone ever interrupted a vlog? People interrupt the vlog all the time because they see you doing it, and they're like, oh, that's cool, it's great to meet you. And so I just roll with it. Sometimes I invite them to be on it. Hey, would you like to be in this video? Which I think is always fun. And now, like, there is a little bit of, like, psych you out thing when people are watching you, but I really just come to the perspective to say, these people are watching me because they're curious and they want to watch me, and so I generally just try to roll with it. I will say, though, that if we do attract too much of a crowd, then we stop and move and shoot something else, and then maybe come back to where we were once the crowd has dissipated. The must-eat foods in Fukushima Prefecture, Japan. Yeah, we're gonna see that in just a moment, but that was too soon for that one. All right. And, okay, so, now, when we get home from a trip, I got to take all those files off all these devices or the laptop where I copied them to and put them on this computer. And so this is, I create a folder for each one of my general trips. So this is the folder for the Fukushima trip. And then I create folders within that. One folder for audio, in particular, recording voiceovers after the fact. That goes in the audio folder. From the 2 different main cameras that I take, I create a folder for each one of those. So I've got a folder for camera 1 and a folder for camera 2. That's capture card 1, capture card 2. I have a folder for downloaded pictures. So if I download maps or things like that to insert into a video, I put that in there. There was a question of if I travel with a GoPro. I do travel with a GoPro occasionally. So this one I had a GoPro that went there. The pictures that we have from the Sony ZV-1 or OC Girl's Fujifilm camera, we put in the camera pictures. Those like high resolution pictures, great for thumbnails, great for food inserts. Music, if we do any background music, I put that in that folder. In this particular trip, because we had some footage of us on TV, then that went in there. If I take pictures on the phone, then I put those in a separate folder called phone pics. If I use any stock footage, like there was something I really needed to get, but I didn't, like I need a drone shot of Tokyo, that'll go in the stock footage, and then any titles that I create go in the title section. And then all the other files that you see here on the screen, these are as I was editing this, I created all these different things, but it starts with these different folders. These are all the project files and thumbnails that I've ended up on this Fukushima series. Okay. Oh, and by the way, I saw a question about what am I using right now to live stream. This is a Sony a7S III. it is one of those fancy cameras that people say, Chris, why don't you use that when you travel? Because it's big, it's heavy, it's not as convenient as these other things, but I live stream on the Sony a7S III. All right, so now I want to dive into the video editing software and how I edit. So this is Sony Vegas. It's now owned by a company called Magix Vegas, but I actually prefer the Sony versions of the software better because I think they're more stable. So I generally do most of my editing in Sony Vegas 13. And this is what kind of like the project looks like when I copy all the footage over. So I take all the video from all those different folders, I bring it into the video editor, and then I watch all of it, and then I categorize it. So in the lower left, there's this thing called like project media, where you can make media bins, and you can bin the video into different things. So basically, all those different video types that I talked about making earlier, things to know, things to do, things to eat, I create bins for those. And as I watch the video and I say, oh, this was things to know, this was things to eat, this was things to do, I put them in their bins, because then when I actually go to edit a video, what I want to do is have all of the assets, all the video files for that video just all together at once, so I don't have to be looking through them and what was on this camera, what was on that card, or what was on that GoPro. I do that all in a go. So coming back from Japan on this last trip, I might spend 5 to 10 hours just watching the footage, categorizing it, bin it before I even start editing a single video. But then that makes it so that when I do pick up a video to edit, I've just got everything right there. So then you can see like within each one of these sections, I also create like sub bins. So when I've got like, this was the intro for things to know, I drag that in a separate one. If it's the conclusion, I drag that in a separate one, because then that just makes it easy when I go back to like edit things to know video. I don't have to find the intro. I've already tagged it, and I just put it at the beginning, I put the conclusion at the end, and then I just have to go ahead and work on the middle. And then this is looking at in the things to do for Fukushima, for like the cat station master section of it. I don't have any bins or subsections in there because that was all shot pretty much chronologically, and so then when I go to do the cat station master, I'll just take all of those clips that are in that bin, I'll drag it up on the timeline, and then kind of delete the ones that I don't want and make a story out of the 12 or so clips that were in this section. And Pixix says, this is like a YouTube seminar. This is a YouTube seminar, really deep dive onto how I go and edit these videos. The theory behind YouTube, the theory behind editing. And Kathy says there's a lot of hours rewatching all the video. It pays off in the end, because then I don't have to watch it again and again and again and again to find that one clip. Like coming back from this trip to Fukushima, we had over like a terabyte of video, over like thousands of clips, and so if I try to do that for every single video I edit, it just takes forever, and so it's worth it just to do it once, sit down, bear it, organize it, and then it's organized. Points Traveler asks where I get my music. I license the music that I use from Universal Music. So like that's the music you hear on the live stream, that's in the intro and the outro, that all comes from Universal Music. And Points Traveler says, do I save my videos locally or on the cloud? They're all on this computer, they're all on a second computer locally, and then I also back them up to Google Drive, so I have them in the cloud as a backup. Oh, there's a question about what am I drinking today? Today I am drinking some iced tea, but something special about this iced tea. This iced tea is from this local barbecue restaurant here in Orange County called Lucille's Barbecue. And if you'll notice, it's got some lemon in it. I actually got this to go yesterday. I had barbecue yesterday, drank it at the restaurant. I got one for the road, kept it in the fridge overnight for the live stream today because the lemon's been sitting in it overnight. It has a really quite strong lemony flavor to go with the iced tea. All right. Okay. So now let's look at editing a specific video. So this video that I want to show you is editing the things to eat in Fukushima, Japan. So I want to show you just a little bit of the video, and then I'll dive into the video editor and explain what you see. So we'll watch about 30 seconds of this, and then we'll back to the seminar.
The must-eat foods in Fukushima Prefecture, Japan. I'm Chris, this is Yellow Productions. I do travel guides that are fun, informative, and entertaining. This video is part of my series on Fukushima and Japan as a whole. If you want to see more Fukushima videos or Japan videos, you'll find links in the description below. But in this video, I'm going to be telling you what you must eat if you come to Fukushima. And the first thing we're going to start with is the negi soba. What is a negi soba?
What's a negi soba? You'll find out in just a little bit. Okay, so taking a look into this video editor. This is in Sony Vegas. Up at the top, that's the video timeline. If you're not familiar with video editors, basically you have this notion of video that's tracked on top of each other. So the top track is like what's on top, but then as it goes lower, that's basically layered below it. In this particular video, I don't know, got like 8 or so video tracks that are up there, and then I've got like 6 or so audio tracks that are below that. I've got like a preview window so you can see kind of what it looks like right there. But then if we head forward, so the first thing I want to show you, and if you look all the way on the left of your screen, there's this line that comes down it. That's where we are in the video. That's where we are at the introduction. So my little title that goes across the bottom says Chris Rainey, Yellow Productions. That's a clip that I have. I just put that in the beginning of every video to put my title up there. It's also got the music that plays through it, and so that's kind of that green squiggly thing on there. That's the music, and I've got this thing on it that ramps the volume down, because it's neat to kind of have some good music at the beginning, but music that takes too long and is too loud, then people are like, I can't hear a word that you're saying. So if we hear that again and watch that again, you'll notice the music starts loud, but then gets quiet fairly quickly.
The must-eat foods in Fukushima Prefecture, Japan. I'm Chris, this is Yellow Productions. I do travel guides that are fun, informative, and entertaining. This video is part of my series.
And there you go. And then eventually that audio actually like fades out all the way. It just kind of like tapers down until you don't notice it anymore. Evelyn says, Chris, what's the footage hours to the length of the actual video? It's hard to say on a trip like this because I had so many videos that I actually put together out of it. But if I'm doing just like a single destination, let's say I'm going to Newport Beach and shooting, Laguna Beach, maybe a good example. Let's say I'm shooting a video on Laguna Beach. I might shoot 3 hours of footage in Laguna Beach and then end up with 20 minutes of video. That's probably a rough, I don't know, maybe rough estimate. Aussie Stu wants to know how many gigs of storage does it take up. We're definitely in the terabytes. On this computer, I have about 50 terabytes of hard drive space on this computer. So, a lot of space it takes up. I spend a lot of time and a lot of money buying hard drives to store all this video. I don't throw any of the video that I shoot away. I keep all of it so I can go back to it. There are some YouTubers say, I don't have it, I throw it away. I keep everything that I shoot. All right. So now the next section that I want to get into the video is what is a negi soba. And if you notice on the timeline there where that little line goes, there's a thing at the top that has these gray boxes. That's the title. That's the title that says negi soba on the top of it. Then there's a video on top of it. This is generally called B-roll. So the A-roll is like the main talk track. It's me talking right now, or that's me talking in the video. And then the B-roll is I kind of had this clip that I did later of the soba spinning around. So I'm talking about the soba, and then once I'm done talking about it before we can eat it, then I know I need to also bring out the camera and spin it around, do some things like that so I can insert that in there. We'll go back to that video so you can see what that negi soba insert looks like.
On Fukushima and Japan as a whole. If you want to see more Fukushima videos or Japan videos, you'll find links in the description below. But in this video, I'm going to be telling you what you must eat if you come to Fukushima. And the first thing we're going to start with is the negi soba. What is a negi soba? It's what I'm holding right now, and it is soba, which are buckwheat.
So there we go. So that was the B-roll insert of the negi soba going around like that. Now there are some people who will say you can never have enough B-roll. You can never have enough scenic shots of things to put into your video. And I will say you absolutely can have too much, because then you have to decide what you want to use and figure it out. I really just like to shoot the things that I'm actually going to use, because then it makes editing it a lot better. Joe O says your videos are so good because you take the time to shoot and edit right. I appreciate that, Joe O. Thank you very much. And Pixix said, I had no idea you went to Fukushima recently, right before the pandemic. So check out the playlist, just Yellow Productions Fukushima. You'll find all the videos in there. There's actually more videos on Fukushima that I haven't even uploaded yet. I've edited them and they're sitting on YouTube unlisted. I've kind of been waiting for the pandemic to end and Japan to open up before I put those videos back online. And Rhonda asks, what places have you been to visit in Japan? Fellow explorers, that's a question to all of y'all, because everybody knows I've been to a gazillion places. Point Traveler wants to know if I've ever shot anything professionally, or have you ever done personal videos. Point Traveler, are you saying that my YouTube videos are not professional? Is that what you're saying? Do we have to throw down now? But seriously, I've done a couple weddings, but I will say the weddings are for friends and family, where I say I actually don't want their money because I don't want the strings attached that comes with money. But no, I've never. I shouldn't say never. Never say never. I have done some shoots for I don't know, Shave Ice Cafe, where they wanted some video for them to use later. So I've done a few of those types of things. I've also been hired talent on other people's videos, but I haven't produced any real television commercials or things like that. Michael Traveling the World wants to know what I think of the Filmora 9 editing software. I've never used it. I guess you maybe use that on your Android or something like that. I don't, or do you use it on your PC? I don't know. I haven't used it, but I don't use any Android or whatever based editing software. I edit if I'm here on my home computer when I'm at home. I use the Sony Vegas or Magix Vegas. If I'm on the road and I've got my MacBook Pro, then I use Final Cut Pro on the MacBook to do any of my editing on the road. Okay, so now looking at the next section here, what you'll look, if you see that line that's on the timeline, right below it, the purple is the main audio track, the orange or mustard color, that's a second audio track. So those were things that I watched it and I'm like, my story doesn't make sense unless I say something else. So I re-record or dub over some audio. When I get home, I narrate it, and so I use this microphone back here to record things after the fact. This is the Shure SM7B. I do that into the recording software, and so I want you to see what that looks like and hear what that looks like, and then I'll make one comment about that in just a second. And so I need to make sure I get this to the right time on this video. It's going to skip just a little bit as we get to the place where this happens.
Noodles that have a... I understand this shop actually has a special sake that's only available here. And actually, I think the sake is just on its way.
A cup of this sake costs 800 yen, and it's pretty special because they age it under the snow for 100 days.
Ooh, that cup's getting full.
Just you poured over the cup. Is there something... Okay, right there. So did you catch that? So I was getting sake pouring into the cup, and then I said, oh, I think people would want to know how much it would cost, and so I essentially dubbed that audio over. Now, this is like amateur versus kind of more pro editing. It's really important to get the quiet room sound. If you go from the sound on location in the video to the sound of you at home, it won't sound right. It'll sound really jarring. And so actually, if you notice on that timeline, there is still some purple audio. That was audio that I used to record just the ambient sound of the room, so that then when I actually do my voiceover here in my studio, I take that audio, overlay it over the restaurant audio, and now it sounded a lot more like I was actually saying that in the restaurant. And then when we get to more titles and you see more things stacked up, there's a whole bunch of different titles on the screen. I got a little bit crazy or tried to put people's names a little bit more professionally on it, and so there's 3 or 4 titles that are up here. There's the one that says Negi Soba, 5 to 600 pulls of soba when I buy it, her name, all that right there. And what that looks like is...
Special or ceremonial about that?
サービスですね。
Let's give this sake a try.
By the way, in this video, you're not just going to listen to me talk all the time, but actually we'll be talking to some of the locals that either own the restaurants, work in the restaurants, make the food. Here at Masawaya, one of the managers agreed to answer a few of my questions.
How old is this restaurant?
だいたい30年ぐらいですかね。
How many bowls of negi soba do you serve in a day?
すごく忙しい時で、500から600ぐらい。
What's the best time of year for people? Now, I'll just tell you, I generally don't hard subtitle things because it takes forever to hard subtitle things. Most of the subtitles that you see on my videos, if you turn on YouTube subtitles, I actually outsource them to a service called rev.com. They charge $1.25 a minute, and then they generate the subtitles and upload them to YouTube. But I'm curious, anybody here in the live stream, do you use the subtitle? Are my subtitles useful on the videos that I do? I don't make them on the live streams because they cost too much for these sorts of things, but for the shorter 10-minute travel guides, I use them because I know that English isn't everybody's like primary language, and so some people like to read what I say at the same time. So if you like those subtitles, please let me know. I'm really curious. Kathy says, so clever. That's why your videos are the best. Aw, thanks, Kathy. Eric B says, I learned the way to overshoot. Not enough footage can screw everything up. And Rhonda's helping out to say, hey, there's 100 people. If you're enjoying this video, please give it a thumbs up. Every thumb up for this video, every like for this video, it doesn't cost you a thing, but every like that I get is another piece of bamboo for the Yellow Productions crew. They are hungry. They depend on your likes, so please give them a like. And we've got KK. She says she likes the subtitles. Well, thank you for that, KK. Kathy says, don't mind the subtitles. Kathy probably means you've never noticed them, maybe because probably English is your favorite. Jeff says subtitles when talking. Who doesn't speak English is good. All right, thank you for that perspective. Let's see. Josh from California threw my lenses on. Josh, it is great to see you. Josh says he is sure in the Never Too Much B-roll camp. Great stream. Thanks, Josh. And I will say Josh's videos, we have very different video styles. If you watch California Through My Lens, his is very much like scenic shots that then Josh narrates afterwards, and so he needs a ton of them. I use a bit more of the A-roll. Speaking of special guests, I want to bring a special guest on the live stream right now, which is a lot of people often ask and say, Chris, where's the bunny? How's the bunny doing? Here is MacGyver the bunny. He's been wanting to come on one of these live streams for a while. If you're wondering how he's doing, he is doing quite well, I believe. Often keeps the company just down there off camera. If you want to see more of MacGyver the bunny's antics, MacGyver, the camera's this way. I know you're like looking at my microphone. If you want to see more of his antics and dailies, you can check out his Instagram page. Usi Girl's gonna drop down in the chat soon. If you haven't followed MacGyver on Instagram, you can see what's going on there. MacGyver, thank you very much for joining me today. He deserves extra carrots for that interlude. All right, Naj says, so cute. I'm glad you enjoyed the bunny. Rhonda says, did you take a class to learn how to do all the editing and voiceovers? No, I've taken no classes. I've picked things up from other YouTube videos for trial and error, and then I guess just sounding good on voiceovers is just a lot of practice and recording a lot of things. Obviously when we get to Q&A time or winner, chicken dinner, that's me kind of taking my voice and trying to, get that like, winner, chicken dinner. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, today what we're going to see is trying to do something dramatic and sometimes doing it over and over and over again until we get one that actually sounds good. Now, another thing people often wonder how I do is the like the Topher slide in, like when he comes out to say like subscribe, new videos weekly. That was actually video that I shot of Topher on a green screen. That's the green clip that you see right there, and then all those different layers of subscribe, new videos weekly, those are like different shapes that I've got drawn in the video editor that kind of come on the screen. In case you have no idea what I'm talking about, I will show you what that looks like here. To come visit. To this Fukushima prefect's distinctness, Japan, and I've never had the Fukushima specialty, so it also looks crispier than typical gyoza.
It's tasty. It's tasty. I love the extra crispiness that comes with the way that they fry it. And
yeah, so I shot Topher rotating on a magnetic levitating turntable. It's this kind of thing that's got magnets on it and keeps this piece up that rotates it. So he was rotating on that behind a green screen. I chroma key out the green screen. He's got the slide in. I stopped the video so that he kind of slides in and slides out. If you've seen a new thing that doesn't tell you to subscribe but tells you to like the video, I actually went out to a company that specializes in doing animations and had them draw up that animation that looks like the Yellow Productions crew to wave at you and tell you to like the video, because the Yellow Productions crew and the pandas really need your likes. All right. So Kathy says, I have a good voice for radio. Thank you, Kathy. I appreciate it. And Gilberto says, this is a class. This is a class. Hopefully you are learning some things. All right. And Points Traveler says, what was the black liquid on the table? The black liquid on the table, soy sauce or vinegar. That's the black liquid on the table that I was dipping the pot stickers in. All right, and so anyway, then after all that, I've got a video that I generally then watch over and over and over again to like trim up the areas between the videos, to get the audio to go right, to make sure that there's no spots that you're just like, this is taking too long and I'm bored and I'm going to go watch something else. Because on YouTube, as soon as you're bored for like 3 seconds, then people like click off to other videos. And so I always try to make sure everything's tight and there's not any spaces of dead air or time. But after the video's done, the video's not done, because the next thing is I need to make the thumbnail. So people say, Chris, how do you make your thumbnails? I use Adobe Photoshop to make my thumbnails. I license the Adobe Creative Cloud license that includes Photoshop and Premiere, Lightroom, all that sort of stuff. But I use Photoshop to do the thumbnails. I'm going to make my big head go away here for a second and say in the lower right-hand side, it's really super small, but I've got all these different layers that I've saved, that like the text and the size and the shape and the outlines, and so that way it's kind of always looks the same on all the videos. But if there's a pro tip that I've been using recently for the thumbnails is, a lot of pictures that you take out of your camera, just they don't pop, they're not super bright. This is a picture out of camera that we took in Hawaii. It just doesn't pop. It doesn't look like a YouTube thumbnail. YouTube thumbnails are typically hyper-saturated, hyper-colored, hyper-contrast. So, and the sky looks kind of lame too. So I've been using this software called Luminar AI. It's really neat, easy software, just to like touch up a photo and make it great. Uses AI to do it. And so in there, it's got a thing where you can apply more volume. This is more volume. So if you notice before, this is just like one button. It changes the sky, changes the clouds, it makes it a bit brighter. I also go, like, you can change the sky, be like, I want to make it like a sunset. And I know people have told me, Chris, Photoshop does it too, but Luminar AI does it better and easier. And so I've been really enjoying that software to make some thumbnails that pop. All right. And Adventures with Troy says, when am I coming to Troy's town? Vancouver. We are coming to Vancouver in a couple of months, kind of towards the end of summer, beginning of fall. We are looking forward to it. That is our next trip.
Fellow explorers, it is now Q&A time. If you've got a question, I've got an answer.
All right, so fellow explorers, that is how I edit videos on this channel. Brings you through ideation to editing the video to making the thumbnails. It's Q&A time. Right before we get to all the questions in the chat, though, we have a few submissions to the Yellow Productions Return to Summer Travel Photo Video Panda competition. If you missed it, I'm inviting you through September 15th to send me your pictures and videos of you in yellow attire. Best photo is going to win for one category. Best video is going to win for another category. And if you're around and you see something panda-like that you think should be back here in the live streams, I've probably got room for a few more pandas up on this monitor, so I'm looking for 3 more things to put up there. Everybody's going to win some cool Yellow Production swag and definitely some internet fame. So I want to share with you some of the first contenders that made it in here. Number 1, we've got Christian in Austin, Texas, repping his yellow right there. Number 2, we've got Sven in Gothenburg, Sweden. And when I mentioned to Sven that I was showing his picture today, he's like, I'd love to join, but I'll be driving back home 800 miles from Gothenburg. So thanks for sharing that under that bridge. I've actually been to that same spot. We've got Kathy here in Australia repping her Yellow Productions embroidered shirt, same one that you're looking at right here. Very cool, Kathy. And the last picture submission, but also we have a video. Gilberto, one of our record holders for winners for Yellow Productions Crew shirt, is showing off his OG Topher shirt with a panda in front of a yellow van right there. And he submitted a video to the competition as well. So let's take a look at Gilberto's 20-second video.
I don't have Chris's smooth and clear voice. I even speak English very well. So please take it easy on the comment, but like this video to encourage Chris to share others' fans' videos. Put on your yellow t-shirt, pick a panda or another animal, get your camera and make your own video. Yes, we are challenging you.
Gilberto, thank you very much. That was super cool to get that video. Gilberto is the first video entry, but I look forward to more. And Gilberto was super hard on himself. He's like, Chris, making this video was hard. They don't look as good as yours. Gilberto, that's it. Just to make videos, just get started, just do it. So I think that was great. I loved your kind of pink flower backdrop, so thank you very much. Troy says, Gilberto, nice pick. Pick6 says, that's cool. Brandon says, I didn't have the yellow on me while in Mexico. I guess you're going to have to go back again or go someplace else. Rhonda says, okay, we'll go to questions now. Rhonda says, approximately how much does it cost for all these programs you use? Is it a monthly subscription or just a one-time fee? Some are one-time fees, some are subscriptions, like Creative Cloud that includes like Photoshop and Premiere. I think it's like $30 a month. Vegas, I've like bought the licenses for it. It's like $300. So I've got the 2 different versions. vMix that I used to do this live streaming, I think that was about $300 or $400 to buy the software. So yeah, each one of these things is a little bit of an investment. Luminar AI that I showed you, I think that was about $100. But every one that I buy saves me a bunch of time, so I think it's a worthwhile investment. Michael, traveling the world, asked if I have any tips for doing the high quality videos on the phone. Yeah, my tips for that, obviously when I talked about using the Samsung Galaxy S21 Ultra, is to first of all use a good phone. I really like the S21 Ultra. I like all the different cameras that are on it. Definitely put it on a gimbal. And I like the DJI Osmo Mobile 4. Definitely have some kind of external microphone on it because audio is really important. And then when you're on the gimbal, try not to like wave it around like when you're walking. And I can't do this because I'm sitting and it's a live stream. But you kind of like want to walk like you're a ninja. Even though it's on a gimbal, you want to be really purposeful with your movements. And instead of, what a lot of people do when they first start making videos, and like we all do this, we want to show like a beach scene, and so we we have the camera open and we pan the camera and we turn left or we turn right. That's never a move that you see in movies or TV shows. They never pan, they never turn the camera. Instead, try to slide it, like slide to the left, slide to the right, or push in or pull out. Those are the movements that you want to do. Pull in, right, slide in, slide out, go left, go right, but don't turn, right? The turn, stop the camera, turn it, and then do that again. Sometimes you'll see me break that rule, but if you're looking for kind of the ones that look the best, that's the tip for making ones that actually look the best. Landport says, if you go to British Columbia someday, you'll have to visit Kelowna and Sparkling Hill on a getaway. Sparkling Hill is the best adult spa. Well, thank you for that tip, Landport. Sonia wants to know, what are we eating tonight? Well, I had barbecue yesterday for lunch. I'm drinking that iced tea. Tonight for dinner, we are getting some dim sum to go to eat at home. So I really like dim sum, and with the pandemic, it's nice to eat dim sum at home. Henry wants to know if I've always used Windows PC for creating and editing travel videos. Generally, as I said earlier, when I'm on the road, I do use the I do use the MacBook Pro to edit on Final Cut Pro. By the way, this is where I'm monitoring the live stream on my MacBook Pro over here. But I prefer just the PC workflow better. And Rhonda says, Chris, go ahead and shove me in your luggage so I can travel the world too. All right, come along with us, Rhonda. Absolutely. Troy says, Chris, great advice with the camera work. Thank you, Troy. I appreciate it. Got Your says, how do you sell the business on letting you shoot in their places? Could you give us an idea on your approach to the owners? I just ask them. I mean, I say, hey, and it depends. Like, there are some that I might email ahead of time. There's others that I just do it when I'm there. There's others that I just shoot. But like at a restaurant, I might just like shoot the video. And sometimes if I want to get like behind the scenes in the kitchen, or we're at that like Japanese, the restaurant where we had the interview with them, we actually went there twice. And the first time they weren't super receptive at all. They were like, nah, I mean, whatever, you can shoot, but we don't want to talk to you, this and that, because they were like too busy. And then because we lost our footage from that day, then we had to go back a second time. And then when we had a similar conversation, say, hey, we're here to shoot. They saw a camera. They were like, oh, well, you know, like, yeah, we'll talk to you about it, this and that. Like, let's get her on camera. She's the pretty girl that works here. And so I would just say, so my approach is I say, hey, I'm a YouTuber. I have a channel called Yellow Productions Travel Guides on YouTube. I'm shooting a travel video on name, location, Fukushima, Japan, Dana Point, whatever. I would like to include your restaurant in it. Would it be okay if I get some scenes in the back about how the food's being cooked? Or, you know, would you like to say anything on it? Or is there anything you'd like to show off? And sometimes they're really cool with it. Other times they're not. Look, if they're not with it, then they don't get in the video because they suck, right? Sorry, was that my inside voice? People who don't like want their things to get like free publicity, they're missing out. That's my 2 cents. But again, just be honest. And then there's like Yellow Productions, you know, then usually they look up my name on YouTube and then they see like, oh, you've got like 200,000 subscribers. You're not just like some guy that says they have a YouTube channel but really don't. I find that to be a question I get all the time, actually. I was rocking around Newport Beach the other day shooting a walking tour of the Newport Beach Pier, and I had this headset on. I wasn't shooting at the time, but I had the headset on, just on my ear. And then somebody said, hey, what's with the headset? Are you like a YouTuber or something? And I'm like, what? Actually, I am. I'm shooting a video on the Newport Beach Pier. And like the look on the person's face was like this flabbergasted thing, because I think that they're like, what are you, a YouTuber? Everybody wants to be a YouTuber. All right, go ahead, look me up. And then when I looked the guy up, he was like, hey, yeah, make sure in your video you tell people to come eat at Saigon Beach. Tell them to come to my restaurant. Okay, you thought it was funny before. Bob says, Chris, what is the best milk tea in the OC? I have 2 favorite milk teas in the OC, and maybe if I just open up Yelp and bring it up here. Let's see, what's this one called? Oh, that's going to take too long to do that. I'm not going to do that. I'll just tell you. One is called Come By Tea. It's in Huntington Beach. Come By Tea. Another one in Irvine is called Omomo. And then there's a third one that I really like in Irvine that is located at Culver and the 5 Freeway by Mitsuwa. And that one's called Orobe. Orobae. Those are my favorite milk tea places in Orange County, California. My favorite boba tea flavor, I like a lot of tea flavors. I would say probably recently I'm getting into the roasted oolong teas. But I like them with milk teas. And the great Siamon says, the thirst is real, the thirst is raw, the thirst is authentic. You can't have Taiwan videos without Chris in it. Thank you very much. It's one of the places we want to go. We're standing by for Taiwan to reopen so we can head out there. Evelyn says, how scripted are your videos? How long do you spend doing research? You're so informative. Not scripted, outlined. I don't believe in reading a script, so I don't read things and then recite them. But, you know, probably for the Fukushima trip that resulted in 10 videos, I probably put, you know, 20 or 30 hours of research into creating the outlines that then drive the places we go to, that then drive those videos. If like a single destination, let's say when I'm doing my Laguna Beach video, I probably do like 4 hours of research for that one video. Eric wants to know if I've been to Amsterdam. I have, long time ago, so no videos on that. Rhonda said, actually I've been a couple times to Amsterdam, but I've never done any videos on Amsterdam. Was never there long enough. Rhonda wants to know if anybody's bumped into you and dropped your camera. Never. Nobody's ever bumped into me so much that I've dropped my camera. Darren says, what are your go-to shave ice flavors? Passion, orange, and guava. That's Pog. That's my favorite flavors. Scottman895 Travel says, on average, how long does it take for you to render a video in Vegas after you've finished editing it? So I render it out at like the super high resolution Sony AXVC file. So like a 10-minute video will be like 20 gigabytes in the version that I render it out to, and that's the one that I upload to YouTube. I would say a 10-minute video usually takes about 45 minutes to render after I've added all the effects. I didn't go into actually a lot of like detailed things, like I do like color correction on the clips to like adjust the contrast and adjust the brightness and adjust the audio levels, sometimes crop them in, add transitions, but all those things make it take more time. I find when I render in Adobe Premiere, it actually goes faster. So the walking tours that I've been doing, I've actually been using Adobe Premiere to render those, because I find the Sony works really well with my Sony cameras. It doesn't work as well with the files that come out of my Galaxy S21 Ultra. So I use Adobe Premiere to do the walking tours. And Adobe Premiere has a lot more audio processing in it. So in Adobe Premiere, I can do a lot more, like remove the noise and add the clarity. Wow, that white balance really just got my face super white when I put that camera there, didn't I? Gilberto says tips for recording videos. Yes, obviously I've been recording our Traveling Princess quite a bit, and I almost entirely record on the phone for that. I really like using a wide angle lens to do it, and I also like those motions about like pushing the camera in, pulling the camera out. I think those are kind of cool. And then recording the kiddos, try to get the camera low. They're low. So if you saw the video that I put on Instagram a week or so ago, or two ago, of the Traveling Princess running around the light posts in Los Angeles, that looked cool because the camera was like at her level. It was at her eye level, and I'm holding it down here and I'm like walking backwards. So that'd be my suggestion to you. Get the camera low and then kind of try to do some like following scenes or some leading scenes. Turbo asks, what's my favorite airline? I fly the most with United. I've got over 1 million miles with United. My favorite airline is Singapore Airlines. I also like any Japanese airline, so I like Japan Airlines and ANA. Sonia says, how was Hawaii? It was awesome. If you haven't seen my video all about Hawaii and how it was, you can check it out. I got a video about how was Hawaii in 2021. But we really enjoyed our trip. There's a lot of people who complain and say, it's too busy, there aren't any rental cars, they cost too much. Yeah, it's Hawaii. It's expensive. A lot of people want to go there. You know, you got to eat at different times or things like that. Like it is busy, but we still had a super good time. Ron says, does anybody ever not want to be recorded or not want a child on the camera and ask you to edit them out? Nobody's asked me to edit them out, but sure, there's people who have said, you know, like, oh, they put their face up or this and that. You know, most of the time I'm recording in a public place, and so in that case, if they don't want to be recorded, they shouldn't be there. That's my take on it. I mean, if somebody comes up to me and says, hey, I really don't use that footage of me in it, then I'll honor that, or I'll do something to like gray them out, but that is like 1 in 1,000. Gilberto says, what about the 360 videos? I use a GoPro Fusion 360 to do that. I haven't done many more recently because honestly the views on those have not been super good because there's not any like, there's just a small market for the 360 videos. So until there's really more people that appreciate those, I'm probably not going to do a lot more 360 videos. Gottyear says thumbnails and titles can make or break the performance of YouTube videos. Any fast or hard rules you go by in making a thumbnail? I generally like my face in it. I generally like my face to be quite big. I generally like a big smile. My text is always yellow. I like to wear the yellow shirt. I make sure the text isn't in the lower right hand corner. That's covered up by the time. And then I try to make sure I get me, some text, and then enough picture in the background so you can tell where that place is. I mean, I guess the best thing is to try to, like, you know, I don't know, there's all these people that write these really catchy titles and all that. You notice I don't. Like, mine is just like, things to know before you go to Tokyo, or a hotel review of the Hyatt Centric, just because I like to think I'm not a super gimmicky channel. Sonia asks if you get a lot of points on airlines. I'm really big on miles and points, yeah. Sonia says, I love the chickens in Hawaii. Rhonda says, how come I haven't been to Vegas? Yeah, pretty much the traveling princess and COVID. That's one of the reasons why we haven't been to Vegas all that much. And Kathy says, we just came back from Central Australia in Uluru. That's where the picture was taken. And then Pixik says, I don't know why people don't want to be memorialized on Yellow Productions. And speaking of the traveling princess, she heard that MacGyver the bunny got in the video today, and she said, why am I not in the video today? So here is the traveling princess. She can help us out with the contest.
Yes, it's the time you've been waiting for. It's time for the giveaway.
All right, it is time for the giveaway, and every video I give away a Yellow Productions crew shirt. Look at that. She is wearing her Yellow Productions crew onesie right there. If you can answer my question. And my question for you is, what is the make and model of this camera? If you can answer that, make and model together, and you're the first person to answer it, you'll win a Yellow Productions crew shirt shipped to you anywhere in the world. Traveling Princess Brandon Torres says, hey there, can you wave back to Brandon Torres? Wave back to Brandon. Wave back to Brandon. Rhonda says, I'm headed to La Jolla on Friday. Just watched your video. Do you have any additional gyms there that you can mention real quick, please? I don't have any gyms off the top of my head. I would think probably the best place you would find gyms near La Jolla would be like around University Town Center, like around the 5 freeway. There'd probably be like a 24-hour fitness or something like that there, but that's where you would find them. Look around the 5 freeway and La Jolla Village Drive as the place for gyms. All right. And, you know, the winner...
And now we have a winner chicken dinner.
Gilberto is really fast on winning, but because Gilberto has won so many times and people say, I want a chance too, I'm going to give out a second shirt today to Sahar. Sahar, congratulations. You also win. This is the Sony ZV-1, which we've been using for some of our thumbnails and videos. Well, fellow explorers, thanks for hanging out today on the live stream or on the archive if you're watching it. If you made it here in the archive, if you got questions I didn't answer, leave them in the chat. I try to answer all the comments that I get that have a question on it. As usual, I won't say goodbye because I'll see you in the next video. Traveling Princess, can you say bye-bye? You're drinking. You need to stop drinking so you can say bye-bye. Are you done drinking? Bye-bye. Say bye-bye. She actually can say bye-bye now, but, you know, she has some, camera fright, this and that. She can wave. Bye-bye. Wait, we don't say bye-bye because we'll see you in the next video. Okay, don't say bye-bye. All right, good. Good job.